What happened when reassurance wasn't enough anymore? I was having the same conversation with my girlfriend Maya for what felt like the 100th time this month. Reassuring her that yes, I still loved her and no, I wasn't going to leave her, and yes, she was enough for me. And honestly, I'd been patient for 8 months watching her spiral into these anxiety attacks every time I went out with friends or stayed late at work. But at some point, the constant reassurance had stopped helping and started feeling like putting a band-aid on a wound that needed actual stitches. So I sat there on her couch holding her hand while she cried and asked me over and over if I was sure I wanted to be with her. And I kept saying yes, but I could hear the exhaustion creeping into my own voice. And my best friend Taylor had pulled me aside last week and said, "You can't love someone out of their mental health issues. She needs professional help." Which I knew was true but felt cruel to even think about. So after Maya finally calmed down, I took a deep breath and said, "I love you, but I think you need to talk to a therapist because my reassurance isn't fixing what's actually broken." And her face immediately crumpled and she said, "So you're giving up on me?" And I felt my heart breaking because that wasn't it at all. But I realized that she'd been using my love as a temporary fix for deeper problems that I simply couldn't solve no matter how many times I told her she was worthy and loved. So I explained that me constantly reassuring her was actually enabling her to avoid dealing with the real issues. And she got angry saying I was abandoning her when she needed me most, which made me feel like the worst person alive. But I stood firm and said, "I'm not leaving you. I'm asking you to get help so we can have a healthy relationship instead of me being your emotional support system." And we spent the next 2 hours going back and forth until she finally admitted that she'd been avoiding therapy because facing her trauma felt too scary. And I drove her to make an appointment the next morning and sat in the waiting room while she had her first session. And the moral of the story, friends, is that when reassurance wasn't enough anymore, I learned that loving someone sometimes means pushing them toward real healing even when it feels like you're being unsupportive, because you can't be someone's therapist and partner at the same time without destroying both roles.